So next we're going to have a short video of Sammy Bowler. Sammy works for TW Bowlers, which is a transport heavy haulage family run business. And we're lucky to have Sammy with us today as well. So after the video, Sammy will jump on, talk a little bit about her experience in the sector, and we'll have the opportunity for anybody to ask any questions. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sammy Bowler, I'm 27 years of age and I'm the Transport Manager and Office Manager at TW Bowler Heavy Haulage. So I've been running the office for over 5 years now, and it got to the point where I felt I needed to challenge myself a little bit more. I could get other staff to manage the office, and I wanted to do something more transport based and be more on hand with the drivers' hours and advising the drivers on the road. So I approached Manchester Learning. So outside of work, over 12 months ago, I actually bought a race car and entered the mini challenge and just thought I would give it a go. I only planned to do it for 12 months, but I actually ended up 5th overall last year in the championship. In my day-to-day running of the business, as well as going out at weekends with the race car, both industries are male dominated, and I do feel like women just need to be brave and be confident and get out of the comfort zone and don't feel like you're ever intimidated by a man. The stereotype at the moment is, and always has been, male dominated, and I don't feel like it should be. I think the females have a lot that they can bring to the table that men don't have, a lot of qualities. And so as a brand ambassador for the National Logistics Academy, I would love to see the current average is around 1 in 12 females in the logistics sector, and I would love for that to see a massive change, and I don't think that's too difficult. I feel like just being inspirational and talking about what we do and demonstrating it on a day-to-day basis, I feel like we should definitely get that percentage changed, and I feel like we should see more equality in the transport industry, definitely.
Hi, like it said in the video, I am Transport Manager, Joint Director, Heavy Goods HGV Class 1 for our family run business, which is TW Bowler, and we are a heavy haulage company based in South Manchester. When I was 18, I did my Class 2 heavy goods licence. I'm now 29, and about 6 years ago, I did my Class 1, which enabled me to move loads of sometimes over 100 tonne in weight, over 5 metres wide. If you see the wind turbines that you see on hilltops, I've moved the blades, which are ginormous in length, which require double extending trailers and rear steering trailers, low loaders. So lots of experience that I've gained through having my Class 1, which means that I can load and unload machinery myself. So it meant that I could operate the machinery to load it on and off the vehicle. So I've got quite a lot of experience in that, and there is only 1% of female HGV drivers, like the gentleman before said. So when a lady like myself turns up on site, jumping in a 50-tonne machine, for example, or a 20-tonne machine, and I'm loading it and unloading it off the wagon, it turns a few heads, but I'm quite confident in what I do, and I've been trained properly, and I've got the experience. And you shouldn't really, as a female coming into the industry, you shouldn't really be intimidated by blokes that are doing this day to day, because we can actually do the job ourselves. About 3 years ago, I approached Mantra to do my Transport Manager CPC. The day-to-day role that I have is dealing with drivers, ensuring that they're having enough daily and weekly rest, infringement letters, so talking to the drivers if they've gone over on the time, and having a real chat with them, and disciplinaries if necessary regarding that. Planning the logistics on a day-to-day basis, so making sure the right vehicles in the right area, collecting the right size machines so that our vehicles are not overloaded, because the type of work we do is very, very mixed. So it could be small plant and machinery, it could be big fabrications, need to make sure we've got the right vehicle and the right trained driver to get the best out of, out of our staff. Also vehicle maintenance, compliance, invoicing, making sure we've got effective systems in place within the office, and managing the staff to get the best out of everybody. So even if you come into the industry and you haven't got any experience, you could start as an admin role, learn within the office, get experience from other people, and then wherever your strengths are, you can start your career progression then for whatever part you're most interested in and where your strengths are. You can then be trained internally to climb up that ladder. The opportunities that can come from being a transport manager are the flexibility to do a managerial role in any of the different areas of and responsibilities as a transport manager. So you could do the compliance management if that's what really excites you, or you could do like running the garage and the MOTs, and there's lots of different type, or it could be what I love, which is planning the logistics within the company. So we run 15 wagons all over the country, sometimes go internationally. So it's planning the routes. A lot of them are abnormal, so they require speaking to the authorities, getting a route authorised, and then making sure that the driver sticks to that route and they don't deviate for any reason. So career progression is really important, especially for young people. And within this sector, there is, like I said earlier, there's only 1% of HGV drivers are female. You could start on like a van, or in our company, you could start on an escort van where you follow the heavy abnormal loads, and you can learn the job that way and progress to class 2, class 1. And go up that career progression. Or if it wants to be office based, like I said earlier, the admin role, you can progress to any area of that. So it's really exciting because every day in the office is different. I mean, at the moment with the driver shortage, I've spent a lot of time on the road because we are short of drivers, so I've had to do that side of the business. But generally, I spend a lot of time in the office, and every single day is different. So I could be doing invoicing 1 minute, then I could be planning logistics, then I could be sorting a tyre that's blown out on a driver that's up Scotland, or I could be planning the route for a heavy piece of machinery that needs to come out of anywhere in the UK, and you get 2 destinations, and you have to find the most suitable route which avoids low bridges, weight restricted roads, and then check with the authorities, and they then give you permission. And sometimes the loads are so big that the police insist on an escort, so they send their own escorts to follow us through certain towns or villages to ensure the safety of other road users as well as ourselves. So it's quite exciting. There's so many different areas that you can do, and every single day is different. So you never come into work and have the same dull 9 to 5. Like in my job, I'm quite lucky that I'll do a day invoicing or a few hours doing that, and then I'll jump on something else, and then I might have to go out in a wagon because a customer's got a machine that's broken down and they need a hire machine getting there yesterday. So it's a matter of, right, okay, I've got to drop what I'm doing in the office, go and get out in a wagon and move this piece of machinery. So it's quite exciting, and the challenges that come every day that you've got to overcome as a team in the office, it's quite rewarding. By the end of the day, you think, God, I've really achieved a lot. I've sorted X, Y, and Z out, and you don't plan for that. That's just things that you have to deal with day to day with what happens. And it's every day is different, and there's challenges all the time. So it's quite good, and it tests your brain and it keeps you switched on. You never ever get bored or dull. So I think the important thing is, for myself, is to be inspiring to other young women, or not even young women, just females that want a challenge, that want a new, if you're driven and you want something new, a new challenge, then this is the sector for you. And I just try and be the best ambassador I can for my company. So when I turn up on a site and the lads are laughing about the fact that a bloke's just been in and he took 5 shunts to get in the gate, and I've done it in 1. It's about being confident and doing the job to the best of your ability, and for your company to have confidence in you and give you enough training so that you can go out and do the job better than anybody else. And it's about just the rewards that you get from that, sort of over everything. You just make the job worthwhile. So
Go to the questions.
Has anybody got any questions you'd like to ask on the chat?
Yeah, thanks, Sammy, for that. And I think it's just living proof, really, of all the different opportunities, and you've actually carried out a lot of those opportunities within the sector, in your time. We have got a question from Kerry in the chat. So, the question from Kerry is that they are an organisation that's looking to run an apprenticeship scheme to train people from car to HGV licence, possibly around 70 roles across the country, and looking for some advice as to how you could make their adverts more appealing to attract more women to apply. Any ideas there?
Well, I don't really know how I can make it more appealing. I know that I love what I do and I'm passionate about what I do. So by me just talking about what I do and how I've got there, that I know I believe it, and I would hope that other people believe in what I'm saying and get the confidence then to make that first step. It is difficult because you are having to attract women that, sometimes the industry is not encouraging, and there are, sometimes I'll get onto a site and there will be an old-fashioned site man that'll say, "What are you doing here? Covered in mud. I'm in high vis and I'm caked in mud off this site." And they'll say, "What? You should be in an office. What are you doing out here doing this job?" But really, I love what I do, and I do it because I love it. So I think as long as you've got people within your company encouraging young women to come in and supporting them in what they need, I think that's the really important thing, is that they've got a nice support group around them. And that's what I didn't have at the beginning. I did it because I wanted it, but there are a lot of people that knock you back and do question why you're doing it. So as long as there's a support bubble there of people that are encouraging you and supporting whatever you wish and helping you through your training, then that you're halfway there then. Hope that answers your question.
I think it does. I think that's great, Sammy. And I think as well, I think we shouldn't lose sight of how powerful video case studies should be. So maybe, Kerry, just, the video is probably out there for Sammy's case study. So if not, I'm sure we can share that with you. I'm sure she won't mind that. And as I say, video case studies, seeing somebody actually talking about the experience, that can be more powerful than seeing words on a piece of paper. We have another question from Lisa, who's raised her hand. So Lisa, I don't know whether you want to switch on your mic and your camera and come on screen and ask your question.
Hi, is that me here?
Yes, thanks, Lisa.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just putting this camera on. Perfect. I don't know if you know, but I'm just kind of looking at consultancy long term. I'm doing the Arctic at the moment, so I have my bus and rigid. So I'm just wondering, do you know any female consultants in the transport industry who have done a few jobs, like the transport manager, driven the trucks, and done different, maybe have been instructors and testers themselves? So I don't know any female consultants, that, or females coming into that role as a consultant. They've spent a few years doing a variety of things, and then they're kind of moving into consultancy. So.
Well, that's the sort of thing that I want to go into, I think, because I've done a bit of everything. I think I'm confident and quite good at a lot of the compliance side, HGV driver, transport manager, putting systems in place. So I really like that. So I'm looking at doing my CPC training so that I can take courses and do a bit of compliance, or like you say, consultancy, where you go into companies, talk to them, put systems in place, and then just monitor them and keep in touch. So that's something that I want to do. I haven't got a role model that will, help encourage me and show me the ropes. So it is going to be a matter of me doing my research, trying to learn as much as I can, take it all in, and then I guess going out into the big wide world of consultancy. So I can't help you. All I can say is I could be in touch. I'm quite happy to talk to people and create a support bubble for everybody. I haven't got that experience myself, but I would love to create a support bubble where we can all help each other and keep each other supported during whatever route we all want to go on. So
yeah, that's
good
great.
luck with what you do, you know.
Yeah, because I want to do a few things. I like the learning aspect of it. And then I was thinking, how do I put all these things under one umbrella? And I was thinking, yeah, consultancy sounds kind of like a good thing. So it's nice to hear that you're looking at the same thing too. So
Yeah. No, it does sound good, because I quite like the variety. Like you say, all under one umbrella, there's lots to learn. You know, and I want to take my skills and help companies, small companies, you know, do that sort of thing. So no, I don't know where you would do that, but I'm happy to keep in touch with you, and you know, we can talk after this if that's what you want.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Lika, thanks for your question there, and maybe that's something that we can facilitate as well moving forward. So if you want to share your contact details with us, we can get in touch and we can pursue that conversation.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't think we've got any further questions in the chat, so I can't see any more hands raised. So big thank you to Sammy for today. I'm not sure whether you're staying with us for the rest of the event, Sammy, so just in case we're not, if we want to take our mics off and just give a round of applause to Sammy. Thank you for having me. Thanks, Sammy. We're just about to go into a break now, and then we'll be back. So we'll probably do about 10 minutes if that's okay. So we'll rejoin at 10:45. Thank you, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. So next we're going to have a video of a Mantra employee, Keely Hadfield, who's quite new to the sector. She started her journey as a forklift truck driver after coming to us from working in a nursery and the care sector, so quite a change in career path really. And the video that we're going to watch is about Keely's story. And then Keely again is with us live, so she'll be here to take any questions from anybody. Thank you.
So I passed my forklift truck about 2 to 3 years ago, but before that I worked as a nursery nurse in a nursery. I had the opportunity to come and do my forklift, so I thought, why not? And then when I did it, I really enjoyed it, so I applied for a company in Haywood called Fowler Welsh, and at first they said because I didn't have the experience, they didn't know whether they could take me on, and I went in for a test day to see if I could drive to their standards, and then just started at Fowler Welsh the day after. Yeah, since being at Mantra I've done another 3 forklift trucks. I've done my Flexi, my PPT, my Reach truck, and in 2 weeks I'm going to be doing the forklift instructor course. I prefer more hands-on work, so when I did my forklift and I did my test, I thought, oh, why not? Before starting in logistics, I was a bit worried because there's not really many women in logistics, but when you come and work in logistics, it's no different. You get treated exactly the same. If anything, it's actually better because there's not many females in logistics, so you do really get more opportunities to do more trucks and like your forklift instructor course more than you would maybe if you're a male, because there is quite a few males in the sector. I'd say the most rewarding thing working in logistics is the opportunities that you get to progress, to do more trucks, to help other people. My advice would just be to go for it, and if anyone underestimates you or thinks you can't do it because it's more men in the role, then you can do it. I mean, women can do a man's job easily, and at Fowler Welsh I had one of the best pick rates out of the men, so it just proves that women can do the men's role.
Okay, so we've got Keely with us live now. So I think Keely's going to talk about her experience in the Talent in Logistics competition, which was shown on the video, and then a little bit about the next stage in her career.
Hello everyone, so as Kate has said, my name's Keely. The videos shown then when I was speaking were videos from the Talent in Logistics competition. I applied for that and did the competition last year. The competition itself was based on the Olympics, so we had a basketball theme, an equestrian and a weightlifting. So all the challenges were set up based on the forklift. So the basketball, you had to pick up the balls from the cones, move to, so there was a hoop, some barrels and stuff, so you had to get the ball, pick it up and put it into the barrel or the goal. There was the equestrian, and you had to manoeuvre the horse over the jumps. And then there was the weightlifting, where you had to pick the weights up, manoeuvre them through tight gaps, and then put them on the weight bar, but you had to get them in between the lines. There was also a theory test where you had to do, that was based on golf. So someone from RTRTB would ask us a question, and then you would have a birdie, a bogey or a par. So one option would be you would have 4 multiple choice, which would be the harder option to take. Then, sorry, the easier option to take. Then you would have 3 answers to choose from, or you could have had the easier option, which was 2 answers. The reason I applied for the competition is I seen it online, and was actually in work in the canteen, and the lads was joking, saying, "Oh, shall we apply?" And I went home and I thought, you know what, I actually might apply for this. And there was only 2 women that applied, and I did come second, so it was quite a big achievement. I was a bit gutted, and I would like to apply again, but I can't apply now because I did my instructor course, as I said, which I passed. So now I'm a qualified forklift truck instructor. So moving forward, I would like to do the RTRTB forklift instructor competition of the year, but I need a bit more experience and a bit of practice instructing, I think, before I apply for that. But I'm hoping to aim to be the first, not only the first female, but maybe the first instructor at Manchester to apply for it, because no one's applied for it yet. So, yeah. And in the video, as you know, I did come from a totally different sector. So I worked in a nursery for 4 years, and I loved working with children, more so the more vulnerable children. So from then I went working with vulnerable adults, which again I loved, but it was just the shifts. And then when I had the opportunity to do my forklift, it's something I've always wanted to do, but I've never really gone out there and tried it, and I was a bit nervous. But then as soon as I got into it and passed, started at Farlow Welsh a day later, and I wouldn't go back. I do love driving my forklift truck.
Okay, thank you, Keely. So we're just waiting to see if we've got any questions for Keely before we move on to our next item, which will be a demonstration of a female learner that's actually on training this week. So she's just starting her journey and she'll be taking a test at the end of the week. Can't see any questions in. Oh, hang on. So we have got a question here from Johanna, which was, what was it that sparked your interest in the change of career?
What sparked my interest really is I have always liked hands-on job, and my dad does drive machines, and I have always thought I'd like to do that. And then when I got the opportunity to come and do my forklift, I don't know, the hours are miles better. You've not got to sleep at work, you've not got to do weekends, you just come to work, do your job, have a good laugh, you meet loads of new people, and there's a lot more opportunities in this sector than there is being in a care job. There's not as much progression that you can make in care jobs that you can make in logistics. And also, when I seen how many males there are compared to females, I thought I may as well up the numbers.
Okay, thanks, Keely. And I think it just goes to show really how far you can progress within the sector, because as Keely said, she's only been a forklift truck driver for a couple of years and already reached the stage of passing her instructor examiner course, and that's her journey, next stage of her journey. So we're going to move over now to the demonstration of the learner that's on training. Big thank you to Keely. I think again Keely's going off to do her day job now, so big round of applause. You can take mics off. A big round of applause for Keely. Thank you, Keely. Okay, we'll be with you shortly. We're just going to go and set house and start filming.
We're going to put that turning on. Yeah. So now, yeah. Just that. Keep an eye on it. If you take a little bit off, a little bit too sharp,
She's there. I think we had some problems with sound and timing because we are in a training environment. So I think it was the switch over from the male learner to the female learner that caused the confusion. But hopefully you've seen from the pictures, there was manoeuvring pallets through a chicane, which is one of the exercises that they have to learn to do. We're now about to move over to Sarah Bennett. So Sarah Bennett's going to join us and she's going to talk about Job Gym, which Richard referred to at the start of the presentation, and just around what Job Gym do and really the opportunities that are available to train people that want to come into the sector, because there is funding out there, and Sarah will give us an update on that. Hi Sarah, thank you.
Hi there Kay, thanks very much for that introduction. Just waiting for the slides there. Just while Richard's just getting the slides up there. My name's Sarah Bennett. I've been with Mantra Learning now for just over 3 years. I joined Mantra from a very male-dominated sector, which was recruitment. And one of the sectors that I was involved in was logistics. And we recruited anybody from traffic planners through administrators, import and export clerks, right up through to supply chain managers that Richard was referring to earlier. And I have to say that our top performing consultant at the time was a female who was very successful in getting females into this particular sector. So just to move on a little bit from the next slide, please, for me, Richard. Okay, I know that Richard Weston referred at the beginning of the presentation to the shortage of drivers, and one of the things that we are in the middle of promoting at the moment is an LGV sector-based work academy, which is where people are guaranteed an interview at the end of their training with ourselves, and we have a number of employers who are involved in this programme here, of which are on the screen. So you can obviously see that we are looking to recruit 100 drivers in 100 days. And Richard referred to the sort of salaries that can be earned in this sector. And obviously as an LGV driver, people can be earning up to 30k a year. And so as we know, we need drivers out there, and especially females. So if I could have the next slide, please, and I can talk a little bit through about the Job Gym offer. Job Gym was established as a provision back in 2009, and over this period of time we've actually helped over 14,000 learners get into work. And we obviously do have the logistics specialism, but throughout the pandemic, what we have also moved into is mental health has been a very popular programme. And we train people who are both unemployed and employed. And this is where people, I know Keely mentioned about moving from one sector to another. People obviously out there want to move into different sectors, and logistics is one of those which is up and coming at the moment. It could be employed learners who are looking to upskill. It could be unemployed people who are looking to move careers or look at different opportunities. And we support people at Job Gym here with upskilling, with enhancing their CVs and helping them through their interviews, especially at the moment with the pandemic. Obviously the change that has moved from pure hands-on and face-to-face to digital interviews. So we support everybody through that, through their own CPD. Next slide, please. Okay, just to give you an overview, Job Gym has a number of different teams to support their learners through their journey. We have a team of people who specifically onboard our learners onto our programmes and answer any questions that they have and ensure they're actually booked onto the correct programme. We then have a team of people who specifically onboard and ensure that they see the learners through their complete journey with ourselves. And then we have a team of people who support the learners, especially on the digital platforms that we use, to ensure that they don't have any technical difficulties, but anything that they have, we ensure that we support them all the way through. We have a team of very experienced tutors who are experienced in their sector, so they deliver both virtually and face-to-face, obviously dependent upon circumstance. Then we have a team of internal verifiers who basically are there specifically to verify all of the work before they actually go through for certification. And then we have another team of people who look after our whole curriculum, which is looked at on an ongoing basis, and we are continuing to look at our programme and how we can perfect it and how we can improve the delivery that we actually do. Next slide, please, Richard. Okay, so we touched on this before, but really what we actually offer here at Job Gym, we have 4 different pathways. We have functional skills for both English and maths. We then have becoming a key worker, which covers health and safety, courier driving, cleaning, warehousing and forklift truck certificates. We have mental resilience, which covers mental health, which is both level 1 and level 2. And we have a wellbeing programme and also first aid. And then preparing to work digitally, which I referred to earlier, that covers a securing employment programme, customer service, digital skills and social media skills as well. We also have some partners to Job Gym where we also offer CSCS training, we offer SIA training, and we also do hairdressing, retail and hospitality, taxi driving and CPC. So we have a variety of different things on offer, and there you can just see a picture. Obviously we saw the live filming earlier in our warehouse, and that again is a picture of our warehouse with one of our females who is obviously driving the forklift truck. So moving on again for me, please. If we could just have a quick look now, this is Dawn Cooney, and we do have a case study here. Dawn will talk through her journey. She was a former Job Gym learner, and you'll hear a little bit about what she's actually doing in her career right now. Thank you.
My name's Dawn Cooney and I've come to better my prospects for my future. It's been a really good, well-run, organised place and I like it very much. I was given a fantastic opportunity, said what I wanted to do, saying that this was what it was all about, and luckily I was able to go all the way through and now I can drive the truck. I've always wanted to drive a truck for 20 years, if I'm being honest. It's going to help me very much because I want to now go on to do my class 1, and I've obviously needed to do. It's been handy learning all about the warehousing as well, so it's not just, you're not ignorant to what goes on behind the scenes. So now I can go on to hopefully do my class 1. It's improved my confidence immensely. When I first came here, I couldn't talk to people. I mean, I still struggle a little bit now, but I feel as though my confidence has improved a hell of a lot. And if I did feel a bit iffy, there'd be someone to give me support. And maybe that would just be let me have 5 minutes to myself or say some kind words. I have recommended it to people and I've told them that I've really enjoyed it. So, qualifications, advice, knowledge and the chance to actually better yourself. I've really enjoyed coming and I'm going to miss it when I'm not here anymore.
Thanks very much for that, Alison. And I just wanted to add that I actually met Dawn when she came onto site, and it was great to see the difference in her when she first joined us and when she went away after her training, to see the increase in confidence that she talked about, which was fabulous. And just finally from me, one of the other things that we do offer here is we have a pathway to apprenticeship scheme, which is a pre-apprenticeship programme. And this currently we offer within the motor vehicle sector and also within logistics. And this is for 16 to 24-year-olds. It's a 13-week programme, which really supports the young person through to get them ready to become an apprentice. And this gives you an idea of some of the current employers that we are working with, where we have young people in doing their work experience. So thanks very much for that, Kay. Back over to you.
Thanks, Sarah. And we mentioned it earlier, it's great to see that there's funding out there, not just for females, but males as well, who want to, start their career in the sector. So, if anybody is interested, just pop your details in the chat, and we'll get back in touch with you and talk to you about opportunities that's available. We'll move on to Sally Gilson next, who is from the National Logistics Academy, and very similar to Sarah Bennett, who talked about the job dream opportunities. Sally's going to talk to us about the apprenticeship opportunities for people wanting to come into the sector.
Hi everyone. Sounds like I'm one of the shortest within the sector, but so I'm the Strategic Partnership Manager at the National Logistics Academy. So I manage our customer relationships. So I've had a really good overview of what companies actually need within the workforce. But my background is actually more skills policy. So for the past 9 years, I've been working on promoting logistics careers and working with government to try and basically improve the training options available and the funding for logistics, because traditionally it's kind of been a bit of a sector that hasn't done so much with regards to training. It's been a little bit slow. Certainly with the advent of the driver CPC, it's really changed the way many businesses within logistics have actually viewed training, and probably pushed things along a little bit so that current staff are actually upskilled better. So I've seen many changes over the past 9 years, and the sector certainly has experienced a huge amount of challenges. I don't think you can escape the driver shortage, as Richard mentioned earlier on. It's all over the media, along with obviously the challenges with labour shortages. I think everybody can recognise the way that logistics has changed. If you'd have said 10 years ago that you would have been able to order something one day and it turn up at your doorstep the next, I think we'd be quite surprised. And that's our change in market. We've got so used to being able to hop on a phone and place an order and it magically appear. But as we all know, there's a huge amount of work that goes into making sure that our packages are delivered, but not just ours. Obviously, in the past year, the logistics sector has played a massive part with regards to the pandemic, whether that was delivering PPE to hospitals and to whatever venue required it, to now obviously being very active in the delivery of the vaccinations. So we do have real challenges in attracting new people. We've got a really high age range within logistics. It's much higher than the national average. But on top of the driver shortage, we also have a mechanic shortage. So probably not so hard to get people to come and sort of be engineers and technicians for cars. But with regards to HGVs, we'd still struggle, despite the fact that actually the workshops generally look better equipped and cleaner, because we've probably got more restrictions. But it's a really great option too. But we desperately do need to attract some new talent. And that means we do need to embrace greater diversity within the workplace. I've certainly noticed when I've been going to meetings that I'm one of the few women, but it's a highly innovative sector which offers really great opportunities. As well as loving logistics, I'm incredibly passionate about apprenticeships. The focus for apprenticeships has always been for young people, whereas I think a lot of people have kind of tried to force down the university route, but uni is expensive and it's really not for everyone. And apprenticeships are changing with much more focus on those higher levels. So 44% of apprenticeships started in 2018 were actually at an advanced level, so at degree level. The logistics sector has been a little bit slow in the uptake of apprenticeships, but that's definitely all changing. So who are apprenticeships for? Well, quite simply, they are for everyone. Most people think they're about young people, but 40% of apprenticeships started in 2019 to 20 were actually for people aged 25 and over. And you really can do an apprenticeship from the age of 16 to 100. There really is no age barrier. There's no reason why anybody can't start an apprenticeship when they're older. So people are from any backgrounds, genders, ethnicity can do an apprenticeship. In 2018-19, actually 50.1%, so ever so slightly higher, of starts were actually women. So there's a pretty even split with regards to apprenticeships, perhaps not so much though for logistics apprenticeships. There's no expensive course fees, so all the learning is actually covered by the apprenticeship. And because you're learning whilst you're working, you're also earning as well, which I think makes it a lot easier then for people from lots of different backgrounds to actually take part in this kind of learning. And there's a level for everyone. So from foundation level to degree, you could be starting a career or looking for a new challenge. So apprenticeships, they're for new staff, so you can use that as a way of perhaps getting a job at a company that you really like and you always wanted to work for. Or of course, if you're an existing member of staff, there's plenty of upskilling opportunities and definitely those opportunities to get up the career ladder. Next slide, please, Alison. So although we might have been a little bit slow with regards to logistics apprenticeships, I think that's massively changed over the past few years. And as you can see from this slide, there's actually a really good array of apprenticeship options. So starting at the entry level, you've got your warehouse operative, probably sort of one of the obvious sides. I think most people, when they think about logistics, it's all trucks and sheds. And certainly working within the warehouses in that sort of level 2 apprenticeship gives you a really good insight into the world of logistics. But also a level 2 apprenticeship is the supply chain operator or traffic office, as we call it. And this provides another really good option for that back office. So the back office obviously is the backbone within the logistics sector, making sure that everything runs smoothly. So whether that's organising routes, trying to make sure obviously maintaining compliance, there's a lot of regulatory compliance that goes on within logistics, and it just gives them that support for everybody else. So I've mentioned before the HGV vehicle maintenance and repair, so levels within that. And then probably the other obvious role is your drivers. So you've got your express delivery operatives. So that's your van drivers, going up all the way then to the LGV driver, and learning how to drive and manoeuvre those wonderful trucks, and they have completely changed over the years. All of those areas need team leaders. So whether you're working within the traffic office or whether you're in the warehouse, they all need those supervisors. And then, as Richard mentioned earlier on, Brexit has really changed the world of logistics, and there's a much greater need now for the international freight forwarding specialists, and that's a great option perhaps if you're looking for something a little bit more methodical and a completely different option for an apprenticeship. And then up top here, so you've got your level 6 apprenticeships. and that was your supply chain leadership professionals and your express delivery managers. So you've got those degree levels there. If you don't want to go down the university route and would actually prefer to learn whilst you're working, then you can still get a degree within logistics. Next slide, Alison. We're also forever looking at what's available, and we've, as a sector, recently reviewed the LGV driver apprenticeship. Before, it just offered the Cat C option, or some people call it the Class 2. It now will be expanded from August, and you'll be able to get both licenses within this apprenticeship. So gives drivers many options of the jobs they want to do, and some people want to stay driving that Cat C vehicle for that local work. Others might fancy going a little bit further afield and doing international driving as well, and that would all be an option once you've got both your licenses. The other apprenticeship that's coming soon is the Transport and Warehouse Supervisor, and this really recognises the fact that to be a manager or a supervisor within the sector, there's an awful lot of regulatory compliance knowledge required. So that helps people sort of learn throughout a 12-month period rather than trying to cram within a 2-week to gain a CPC. But it also helps to really professionalise the sector and highlight that we do need these specialist people. Next slide, please. So what is the future of logistics? So, as I said before, we're forever looking at new apprenticeships and thinking about what the changes will be. We see quite a bit in the press about drones making deliveries to our front doors, and we kind of laugh, but at some point these things might well happen, and that will obviously change how we do things within the back office. Who's to say there might not be an apprenticeship drone driver in future years? And then within the vehicles that we're now using, you'll see from the truck that's on the screen there are no mirrors on that. I mean, that's kind of already in existence. These trucks full of software and videos. They are completely changing, but also as we're looking at sustainability of logistics and greener logistics, certainly there'll be a lot more electric vehicles, so that will also require a need for a complete change with regards to the mechanics as well. But I hope I've given a little bit of an overview of the apprenticeships that are available. So the National Logistics Academy, we offer an array of logistics apprenticeships for our businesses, and we also work with our customers to try and create and tweak new ones and keep on looking at the future needs of all of our customers. Thank you very much, Alison.
Thanks, Sally. I'm just looking if we've got any questions for you before we move on to the case studies. Looks like we have one from Lika. So why do we think there's a shortage of people, in your opinion?
I think logistics, generally speaking, in the media, get quite a raw deal. It's very rare you see positive stories with regards to logistics, especially when it comes to driving. So I think there's a lot of work that's got to be done just to raise the profile, from dirty trucks to actually highlight the amount of investment going on to innovate, trying to make logistics greener, more sustainable. And I think we've also got a lot of work to do with regards to appealing to younger people. You would think, being a 24/7 sector, it would be a lot easier perhaps to do different kind of hours and kind of work to people's new work-life balances. And I think that's certainly something that's got to change within the sector if we want to attract younger people. So I think we suffer a real big image problem, and it's up to us to help promote and to change people's minds. And I think events like this, where we're sort of highlighting that actually there's quite a few women that work within the sector. And I think it was really interesting, Kay said earlier on today, she doesn't see herself as working in logistics. And yeah, first and foremost, we're a training provider, but we actually are a crucial company for all logistics businesses, because without us, they wouldn't be able to train their staff. And I think so training and upskilling people within our sector is going to be crucial going forward, because it's just going to keep on changing. I hope that sort of answers the question, Lisa.
Thank you.
No, I think you're right, Sally. And I think, as you say, the more we can promote this, and that, you know, the more we've got the likes of video case study from the likes of Sammy and Keely, who are young and coming into the sector, you know, young. It just highlights the opportunities and, as you say, the benefits that are out there, which people don't always see instantly.
Right, okay. Well, thank you very much for having me, for those that can hear me. and thank you to Kay if she gets this back on a recording. I am going to share my screen. Bear with me one moment. There we go. Okay. So thank you very much, as I said, for having me. I am absolutely delighted to be here, to be able to talk to you a little bit about inspiring the next generation. And of course, within that, what can we do to improve diversity in our sector? It is lovely to see some familiar names and faces on the call as well. And very delighted to be following Sally's talk, as National Logistics Academy are one of our founding sponsors. So a real testament to their work for the next generation as well. We know all this. You almost don't need this slide because of what we've been talking about today, that sector skill shortage. The thing that I want to pick up on is that 16 to 24-year-old age group. Why do we need to be doing something in that area? I think is quite clear there from a 2016 FTA study. They do not consider logistics in the main as a profession of choice. Now, I will caveat this here by saying we are only one part of the puzzle. So inspiring young people is important, it's my passion, but there are many other groups that we would love to think logistics as well. For example, military leavers, returners to work, ex-offenders, those with learning disabilities and learning difficulties. So just heard a cracking presentation from MenCat this morning. So there is a really big jigsaw, and we are only one part of that, but we are proud to be the part that works to inspire the next generation. And it's something clearly, as you can see from the stats, that our profession needs to do. We talk to young people about our skill shortage being their opportunity. So one of the great things about logistics, and Sally's very clearly highlighted this, is we have multiple routes of entry: direct entry, apprenticeships, degree apprenticeships, graduate roles. I always pick on medicine and engineering because it is quite difficult to get well-paid jobs the way you choose your own hours in those professions without having a degree. Logistics is not like that. It is open to all, and if you are up for continued professional development, that skill shortage means you can step in and step up at pace. If you want to just do a good job well and maybe have professional development in the future, or indeed not on your agenda, we still have cracking roles available that need doing, that are valued, and that we have that skill shortage, as we have seen. So truly something for everyone. And we're at an exciting point in our sector where that new technology, some of the innovations coming in driving, coming in warehousing, coming in some of the tangential services, really represents a cracking opportunity for young people to come into the sector, shape the sector, and work to improve what we're doing. So we do like to sell that message, and we do that across schools and colleges through Think Logistics, and at universities through one of our sister organisations, Novus. It is all about promoting the breadth of the sector, explaining what we do, of course, because as again Sally mentioned, we are a little hidden, perhaps. We hear about it when things go wrong. But the pandemic has given us a really great footing to say we are key workers, we keep Great Britain moving, we've kept Great Britain fed, watered, entertained throughout, delivered the vaccine, set up the Nightingale hospitals, and certainly the young people that I've had the pleasure of working with since Easter, that's really resonated with them. That key worker message has started to land. So a silver lining, if you will. Our main delivery mechanism for our messaging is through our Think Logistics workshop. And again, delighted to have some deliverers on the call with us, which is wonderful. That workshop has 3 aims, which you can see on your screen now, and I'll share with you some stats as to how successfully we've done that since we went virtual in Easter. Again, the purpose of that is really to light some fires under some young people to think this is not a sector that I've heard of and I want to explore. So we talk about, yes, the roles that we absolutely need, going back to those statistics, drivers, warehouse people, fitters, mechanics, etc., and the routes in. But we also talk about the tangential services. So for anyone sitting in the audience at maybe 16 years old thinking, I know exactly what I want to do, I want to be an accountant or a lawyer, we talk to them about the fact that you can do that in our profession too. As I say, explaining those routes in, and that there are wonderful opportunities for apprenticeships, degree apprenticeships, graduate roles and direct entry. And what we do is, particularly on the encouraging women to join the sector, is we try and smash through some of those stereotypes. So we open up with a bit of a quiz, and one of the statistics in that is under 7% of the world's population of truck drivers identifies female. True or false? Unanimously, they get this right with true, because as Sally, as Jenny said in her video, it's quite rare to see a female truck driver. We use that as an opportunity to talk about some of those stereotypes: heavy lifting, Ginster's pasty in a Shell service station, no ladies loos, and things like that. Some of those are still true, and some of those will resonate, I'm sure, with some of us on the call around facilities. But we encourage young people to think about how they could come in and support our profession in being the change for those of us that want to do that. And we smash some of the stereotypes about the heavy lifting, the environment of driving not being particularly attractive. I was at the ITT hub last week, and some of those trucks are much nicer than my office. And we talk about how we need young people to come in and be part of that change. A couple of quotes. I wish I'd made the one in the middle up because I couldn't have put it better myself, but genuine young people's comments there about learning about the sector, the breadth. Point taken about going into more detail about apprenticeships. That was one of our direct entry deliverers. And so what that's enabled us to do is make the workshop a lot more rich. We want that feedback from young people, and we hope that the feedback that we have got has shown that we are delivering on those aims that we set out. A couple of stats to share with you, albeit a small sample. We have only been doing this, I've only been in post since Easter, so after the Easter holidays, but going in the right direction. What we hope is that understanding of the sector, the understanding of what we do and the breadth of what we do, as well as the routes in, even if that statistic at the end is slightly lower, we hope that those young people might go on to inspire a friend or inspire a sibling to join our profession, or work through some of those stereotypes that we've talked about with their parents, with their teachers, with other people who have influence over young people, and say logistics is not just whatever their personal preconception might be. It is also, and use some of that good knowledge to really encourage more people to think about logistics as a preferred profession. Excuse me. Delighted to have wide sector support. from both membership organisations and trade bodies. We've got manufacturers in there, we've got training organisations in there, we've got 3PLs, etc., etc. That breadth really helps us to resonate with young people about the breadth of the sector. And we encourage companies to give us their young people to come and do some of the delivery. Again, that really works well in terms of acting as an inspiration for why they've chosen logistics, why they found the profession attractive, and helps us to smash some of those stereotypes. So I am going to share a short video with you, if I may. This video shows, we asked the question of some of our young people, what do you wish you'd known at 15 or 16 about the logistics profession? If you could go back now and give yourself some careers advice, what would it be? So I'd like to share that with you, if I may. Please tell me if the sound's not working.
One thing that I really like about my role at the moment is that I work with such a range of people from different ages, different locations. Everybody provides something different and there's always something to do. I think that's what's so exciting, is that everything is always changing within my role.
I know I have a personality that gets bored fairly easily and I like change and I like to constantly be learning, and I think logistics is one of those industries that is continuously changing. Logistics was always going to be an area for me. As soon as I knew what logistics was, I was like, that's the nail on the head, that's what I want to do. I had no idea what that was when I was 15 and I just wish somebody had told me.
When I was 15, 16, I had no idea what logistics was. I thought it was just lorries moving on a motorway.
I think what really excites me about logistics is definitely the supply chain element, knowing, you know, how something goes from A to B to C to final customer, and being able to walk into a store and know that that product has been on a journey. It's exciting to know.
When you order something online, it doesn't just appear at your door. There's an entire function behind it that makes sure you get what you want when you want it.
There are hundreds of people involved. We're making sure that people get their deliveries on time to their doors.
What drew me to logistics was the opportunities available in this profession. I feel like as a young manager, there's a lot of growth and a lot of doors that will open.
Going straight in as a manager really gave me the empowerment and the responsibility at a young age, as well as the obvious salary that you go straight in at.
In terms of payment, it pays you and you can progress quite rapidly as a young person.
I enjoy my current role most because I get to travel to so many different places and I get to work with lots and lots of different people.
I like the team that I work with, so we're quite a big family really. Everybody knows each other. I like that, you know, we work in shifts, so it's quite good in that way. You still have time to do stuff, have a social life.
The training that I've received means that I can go into any different profession and it's completely transferable, so I could go global with the things that I've learned.
I would advise a school leaver to choose logistics if they want to be challenged, if they want day-to-day activities to be different to the previous day, if they want to meet new people and engage in customer service. Logistics is a small world, but it affects the whole world.
For young people, we need to change what they think of logistics because it's everywhere, and if you want a well-rounded career, think logistics.
Absolutely could not have put that better myself, I don't think. I've got a couple of questions in the chat I can see that I will go to in a moment, but if you do have any questions, please put them in there, and thank you very much. Always very happy to talk all things inspiring the next generation, as are our young people, as you have seen. They do put it best. Okay, so I'm just having a quick look at the chat here. Indeed, yes, SEVA, one of our delivering companies. So I am having a quick look. Question here from Lika, forgive me if I'm saying that incorrectly. A lot of middle-aged women becoming drivers or entering logistics in general. Started your career a little bit late and sometimes feel insecure about my age. I know it's easy to say not to feel insecure about any of our characteristics. I wish that we could wave a magic wand and make that not true. I think one of the things that all of the companies that I work with are looking for is increasing diversity, and we know that diversity is better for business. So this isn't about ticking boxes and saying, yes, we need more women or people of colour or whatever the demographic is. It is about diversity and diversity of thought being better for business. So I think it's about finding a company who feels comfortable to you, asking some of those insightful questions at interview to be able to get a feel of, are people living and breathing their D&I objectives? Are they taking training and professional development seriously? And that kind of good feel of a company that's going to be right for you, and see you as someone who can really contribute in a valuable way to the progression of the organisation, rather than either having that insecurity carried on because that environment's not right for you, or being a tick box. So I would hope that neither of those things would be the case, and the right doors will be open for companies who feel right. I know that's a very glib thing to say, but I do believe that they are out there, and if we can be of any assistance, please do ask. Okay, any other questions at all? I will hand back to Kay. I'm not sure that can Kay hear me now?
I'm back here. Yes, I'm over my technical issues now.
Thank you so much for the invite. I will stay for the rest of the session, so any other questions, please pop them in.
No, thanks, Bethany. And I think it's you know, it's a great job that you and your organisation do, promoting the sector, not just to females but to everybody. So yeah, if there's any further questions for Bethany, please feel free to post them in the chat. I am now going to hand over to Richard quite shortly. We have had technical issues, as we've experienced today, with a couple of the videos. So I've been assured that the team are going to post the video links into the chat so that you can watch them. So please take the opportunity to view the ones that we've missed, which was Jenny Tipping's. And then also we've got another one that we wasn't able to play, which was from Ramona Lacob from Connexus Logistics. You know, and both of them continuing with the theme around promoting the benefits and opportunities to females in the sector. So before I hand over to Richard, who's going to close the meeting, I'd just like to say a big thank you to the speakers that have been live today. Obviously, we've experienced some technical issues, but that's what you get when you're working in a live environment. But hopefully we've overcome them, and it's you know, we've been able to get the key message across, which is, you know, really around the benefits and opportunities that are available, but also the message that there is support out there. So anybody that wanting to get into the sector or progress within the sector, you know, there are funding out there. There is funding out there, and there's also organisations that will help you start that journey. And as I say, any further questions, please post them in the chat. So I think it's just really, before I hand to Richard, if we can just switch our mics on and just really give everybody a round of applause, and a thank you for speaking today. Okay, so thank you everyone, and Richard, it's over. I'll pass it over to you to close the meeting.
Thank you, Kay, and yes, I'd like to echo your sentiments there. We've had some fantastic speakers, really inspirational. We heard from Sammy first off, and yeah, I mean, for someone who's only 29, who's done everything, and now looking for a new opportunity to move from being a transport manager into possible consultancy and training. Well, what's not to like about that? You know, she can pass on all her experience and knowledge to others. So well done, Sammy, and good luck with your new move. Keely, brilliant. At such a young age has moved into an area which is been, you know, as we saw in the statistics, clearly male dominated, and to come second in the country in the talent and logistics competition for driving a forklift truck, and she only learned to do it a couple of years ago. I mean, that's just absolutely amazing. And now she's qualified FLT instructor, again, someone at a very young age now able to pass on the skills to new talent coming in. So great stuff, Keely. Sarah talked to us about Job Gym and obviously the fact that we can now fund these courses for people who want to reskill and come into a sector that is growing very quickly, and where there are lots of opportunities. Dawn Cooney, case study there, we heard how she came in completely fresh and ended up with an LGV license, and that helped to move into employment. Jenny Kipping, the little bit we did hear from Jenny was how she moved from a career, probably 10 years or so, in driving HGVs to become a trainer. So another one who's moved on to share their knowledge and skills with newcomers to the sector, and this is what we need. So that's great stuff, and I look forward to looking at the rest of Jenny's piece online. Sally told us all about apprenticeships and how important our apprenticeships are in gaining entry into a new career, and the fact that you can do apprenticeships in all the major jobs that I talked about at the outset, which is great. And then Bethany, great to see that it's the industry itself is doing something to attract the new talent is going to need if it's going to continue to thrive in the future. So all in all, a great morning, and thank you all for attending. And please, if you do have any further questions or like any advice, please come to us, and we'll do our best to help you. So thanks again, everybody, and great to see you, and all the best. Thank you. Bye.